Would you believe me if I told you I've died 5 times in one day? Most wouldn't. After all, usually when someone dies, they are, well, dead. But it's true, and because of that harrowing experience, I have become something new that the universe has never seen before. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I believe introductions are in order. I, Varic Vallenar, am an Archmage of sealing and binding magic. I have been tailored since childbirth as a prodigal son of the Vallenar Corporation's CEO, Varic Vallenar. No expense was spared in my youth. From genetic modification, which left me with dark skin, silver hair and eyes, to lessons from the greatest mages in history, the investment in my upbringing would bankrupt most planets. No, it would bankrupt most sectors of civilized space. All of this effort and investment for this one moment in my life. This plan to reach beyond the limitations of the universe. To make history defying the mandates of the Aether. We created a ritual to use the power of the Future Fall, a unique celestial event where a colossal amount of Aether gathers and includes the Son of Nazarene. This convergence of the Aether breaks down some of the laws of the universe, allowing viewers on the planet orbiting the Sun to glimpse into the fabric of space-time. For an idea of what that looks like, imagine a total eclipse. Gazing into the Future Fall lets you see many possible futures. At least, that's what it normally does. Our ritual was designed to grasp onto this natural phenomena and twist it into our own purpose. But if we failed, we wouldn't get another chance. It only happens once a millennium. This ritual was designed to impart knowledge of other magical masteries into my understanding of magic. Nothing more. This knowledge would grant me the ability to cast spells from multiple fields of magic, without first needing to study it for a lifetime. This breaks the natural limits of the Aether, and this is the breakthrough that we were aiming for. If it went perfectly, I would become a 7-fold Archmage, or in other words, I would suddenly know 7 different magical masteries. The spell was successful, beyond our greatest hopes. It was practically flawless, granting me knowledge into 5 additional masteries, plus the one I started with. While I did not achieve the 100% perfect outcome we were hoping for, we successfully broke the natural order by orders of magnitude, and I was now a 6-fold Archmage, the first in all of history. But the Aether demands balance for all workings of magic. As you might guess by now, this is where the whole "I've died 5 times" thing comes in. Defying the Aether does not come without a cost, and with a ritual as strong as this one, that cost was the memories of parallel lives. All with gruesome ends. See, while we broke the natural law of one life, one mastery, the Aether has ways of preserving order. You want to master 6 masteries? You have to live 6 lives. All the way from the start to the end. In those short minutes, those memories stretched into multiple decades. So when I walked away from that ritual, I was no longer the Varic Vallenar I was before. Now, I was bitter with betrayal, for in one of my past lives, I was executed by the Union for reasons I didn't understand. In another, I died to the Iron King, his cold hand embedded in my chest. In yet another, I fought in Divine Titans against the Swarm Queen from beyond the galaxy. Needless to say, I had to do a bit of processing to sort out the overlapping memories. So I simply left. My father yelled to try and get me to stop, but he was also the antagonist of yet another of my previous lives, so I had no care in the world for what he had to say to me any longer. And so, that's how I became the universe's first ever 6-fold Archmage. Power sounds great on paper, but only once you have it will you truly understand the cost. Hi there, I'm Devin. This is the first video I've made on the Trail of Tales, and this sort of take is what you can expect from my content on this channel. If this format of video interests you, consider subscribing to see more like it. I thoroughly enjoyed this book and wanted to share it with you as the first book summary on this channel. If you'd like to see more summary videos about the Last Horizon series, give this video a thumbs up. For those of you who are interested in reading this book now, you can find the link to it in the description below. For legal disclosure, this link is an affiliate link for Amazon, so if you buy something using that link, I'll earn a small commission. Also, as this book is available as part of the Kindle Unlimited subscription plan, consider picking that up if you love to read. A lot of the books I'll be covering here will be participants in that program, so if you stick around, it might be a worthy investment for you. About a year and a few months has passed since that day that I became a sixfold Archmage. I kept this fact quiet, only ever really showing my original mastery of sealing and binding magic in public. I wanted to put the whole ordeal behind me, but my understanding of magic led me to take up mentorship at the Tower, a school of some renown for training up-and-coming mages in the art of magic. I didn't realize how much of a real pain it would be. All they ever want is to learn how to use destructive spells, to throw fire and ice and lightning, being content with the mundane and practical applications of magic. The stuff you don't need to think too hard about, the stuff that nameless soldiers who fight and die in the battlefield rely on. I'll concede that making your spells easy and effective to get the job done has its uses, but they don't see the potential that lies all around them. They don't look at the expressions of the Aether that can be utilized to greatly amplify the power of their own magic, the applications that make the sum of the parts greater than the whole. For instance, I decided, against the staff and faculty's wishes of course, to take my class on a little field trip. We were to observe the moment a Thelusian Aurora Toad was born. All around us, it was raining, but over the egg of the toad, the rain simply avoided the area around it and generated a small aurora over it, hence the name. Aether patterns could be observed, showing the workings of natural magic. Had they been paying attention and realized this, they could apply those patterns to their own magic, to create a shield from the rain, or to block out certain lethal gases from their lungs. Your imagination's the limit. In fact, I used this very application of magic a few months before in my solo raid of the Iron Legion hive that held the unborn Iron King that had killed me in my previous life. I was determined not to experience that again, so I attacked the hive filled with tens of thousands of half-machine, half-flesh monstrosities, and chucked the Iron King into a star, a neat end to a future threat before it could manifest. Now, I should emphasize that normally, attacking a hive by yourself is a colossally stupid way to die, especially considering that when you die, they turn you into a mindless battle asset to bolster their forces. They gain access to what magic you are capable of in life. Imagine the atrocities let loose if I were to die and be converted. That is a real terror of the Iron Legion. The warriors who desperately fight against them become them when they fall. It would normally take a large, coordinated, unified assault to accomplish this feat, and thousands of casualties were to be expected as a matter of course. However, my knowledge from my previous life allowed me to effectively ambush and annihilate with impunity, and my goal wasn't to completely wipe out the hive. I only needed to destroy the Iron King before he was born. This single-minded goal, foresight, and a lifetime of experience fighting against the tide of hive mind bloodthirsty horrors are what allowed this to even be remotely possible to begin with. Also, you know when you hug things into stars, they usually, die? Well, it turns out Iron Kings aren't so easy to kill. And I'm going to leave it at that. No further spoilers here. Back to the Aurora Toad. When we finished observing the birth and went back on my ship, we were hailed by the Dean to meet him in the office immediately. Here we go. Almost all of the students continue their tune of, "Teach me combat magic like the Dean told you to." My annoyance is getting pent up and reaching a tipping point. This meeting with the Dean pushed me over the edge, and I snapped. Literally. I used the concept of the Aurora Toad and hacked into the weather control spells in place to produce a massive weather controlling aurora. Then, I snapped my fingers, which triggered a powerful blast of lightning in the distance, hitting nothing but serving as an excellent example of what you can do with magical concepts tied to your own magic. Showing off that battlefield-wide area effects spell served its purpose. The students were in awe, some shocked at the display of power. my frustration was released. A win-win if you ask me. They were very interested after that, but the dean wasn't. After all, I repeatedly dismissed their inadequate curriculum, doing my own thing trying to prepare the future generation of mages for what was to come. Suspended for a month. Joke's on them. I needed a break from all the politics of being a teacher. For the rest, well, you'll just need to read my story now, won't you? I will say I happened upon something legendary during that break, but I don't want to spoil much more. See you soon. We were to observe the moment See, while we broke the natural so when I walked away from that ritual, I was no longer the Varic. Hi there, I'm Devin. This is the first video I've made in the Trail of Trails. I sincerely Ah!